Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel BTC Granny Squares 2021. As some of you will know from watching our introduction video or seeing our comments and info in the Facebook group, you will know that we unfortunately cannot record a video tutorial for every single square we're doing this year because of copyright. So we're not able to do a video for every single square. But this beautiful square, which is our number 2 square, was designed by Aurora, Dragonfly Mum of 2, and she has kindly given us permission to make videos for her squares. So thank you, Aurora, for allowing us to do that. There will be a link to the pattern in the description box below. There will be a link there, and there will also be a link to our Facebook group where you can get more info on the square, hints and tips that we may have found, and you'll be able to pop a photo of your finished square in our album in the group too. So this square is called Burst of Popcorns. It's designed to be a 6-inch square if you use worsted weight yarn, or Aran weight yarn as it's also known, and a 5mm H hook. My go-to yarn is DK yarn, light worsted weight, and a 4.5mm hook. So that's what I'm going to be using. And my square comes up at around 4.5 inches. So if you're using worsted weight and a 5mm, it will come up approximately 6 inches, or using lighter yarn and a smaller hook, approximately 4.5 inches. But if you want to, you can always make the square bigger by just adding some more rounds of these outer stitches. Okay, so I have done this test swatch here. I did miss a popcorn in this side here. You can see I've got one missing, so I'm not going to do that when I do the video now. So I'm going to make my other one. You need 2 colours. Ideally, you could do this in just 1 colour, but the pattern does suggest to use 2 colours. So I'm going to make my one now with you in the reverse colours. So I'm going to use the pink on the inside and yellow. Here we go, and yellow on the outside. So grab your hook and yarn, and grab your scissors, grab a cup of tea or something, and let's get started on making this beautiful popcorn square. I do apologise just briefly for this shadow here. It's for my kind of tripod clip thing, and I've had a real job trying to get set up. I haven't done any videos for probably the last year, and I'm having a bit of a job with setup. My old tripod has broken, so I need to get a new setup. So please just bear with me today with having this weird like shadow thing here, and it being probably a little too close to the camera, and there might be an occasional wobble, but we all have an occasional wobble anyway, don't we? So grab everything you need and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with our first colour and make this part of the square. So I will talk you through every step of the way. So start with a slip knot on your hook, and then we're going to chain 4. Okay, and then we're going to work into the bottom chain, which will leave 3 chains, and these 3 chains will act as a double crochet. So this is US terms, so in the UK terms this would be a treble. Okay, so we're using double crochets in US and treble crochets in the UK. So go into this bottom chain, and this is going to act kind of like our ring or magic ring, and we're going to make 11 double crochets, 11 double crochets, or trebles in the UK. Okay, so then just count back and count your chain as 1 and just make sure you have 12 altogether. I can't even count now. Let me count that again. I do have 12. I'm having a bit of a pickle here because where the camera is situated, it's kind of right over the top of what I'm working, so I can't really see my work very easily, and I can't actually see the camera very easily to see what it's recording either. So I'm doing this sort of, well, a little bit blind, which is why I might occasionally go off screen, but I will really try not to sort of go down here or off here. I will really try and keep in the right place, and then just pull that tail a bit tighter, and that just cinches that center in. So it's a little bit like using a magic ring. Okay, so we're going to start on the next round. Now, at any time, if you need to catch up or have a look again at what I've done, just press pause and just have a watch back. Or if you want to slow it down, there are 3 dots, usually somewhere up here on the screen or down here. You can press that and then change playback speed and change it to slow. It does distort the voice quite a bit, so I will sound like I'm falling asleep or something, but if you need that to help you catch up, then please do so. Okay, so let's move on to round 2, and for round 2 we are going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a front post double crochet around the same stitch. So yarn over, and then this same stitch, which is actually your original chain 3, go behind it and then come out the other side of it. Okay, so it pushes this to the front of your work. Okay, and then yarn over, pull through, and then complete your double crochet as usual. And that's what we're going to do all the way around. So we're going to do a double crochet in the very next stitch. Let me move over to the center of it. A double crochet in that same, or next stitch, sorry, and then a front post around that same stitch. So yarn over, go in to the right of that stitch, come out the other side, and then complete your double crochet. And all it does is it just brings that stitch slightly to the front. You can see they're sort of more raised than these stitches around. So a double crochet in the stitch, or a treble if you're using UK terms, and then a front post around the very same stitch. Okay, complete that all the way around, and when you've finished, you should have 24 stitches in total. Okay, just finishing my last front post stitch. There we go. And then to finish the round, to join the round, we're just going to slip stitch into the top chain of the starting chain 3. So just go into the top there and make a slip stitch, and that is your second round completed. So you can see some of these have more texture than the others because they've been pushed forward. So we're going to move on to round 3. If you need a bit more time, as I said before, just pause the video and then unpause when you've finished the round. I'm just grabbing some more yarn, unrolling some more yarn. So round 3. Round 3, we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the same stitch. So a treble crochet if you're in the using UK terms. So do a double crochet in that same stitch. And then in the next stitch, which is your front post, which you might not be able to see the top of that very easily. It kind of melds in with your chain, your starting chain. So actually the top of the stitch is here, but it might have sort of merged in with your chain when you've done your slip stitch. That does happen. So don't panic, just go into that same place there. So we're going to do a popcorn, which is 4 double crochet popcorn. So we're going to do 4 double crochet in that stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. There's 4 double crochets in that stitch that we did for the front post stitch, and then take your hook out, pull up a loop, count back to your first stitch, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so your first stitch, pop your hook in that stitch, and then pop the loop back on, pull it down, and then pull through where you joined, where you put your hook into that first stitch, and that's your popcorn. So it's kind of puffy. Okay, then we are going to do 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and this will be your repeat now. So 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2. Oops, 1 and 2. It's really not very easy when you can't fully see what you're working on, when I've got the camera covering it. Anyway, so 2 double crochet in that next stitch, and then a popcorn, 4 double crochet popcorn in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Slip your hook out, pull up that loop a little, go back 1, 2, 3, 4 to your first stitch there, pop the loop back on and pull through. And okay, and then you're just going to repeat that all the way around. So 2 stitches in the next stitch, 2 double crochet, and then in the next stitch you're going to do your 4 double crochet popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pop that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop that on and pull through. And pull through, she says, but she can't see what she's doing. There we go, pull through. Okay, so continue that all the way around, and when you've finished, you should have 24 double crochets and 12 popcorn stitches. Okay, 24 of the double crochets and 12 popcorns. Okay, when you have done all your popcorns and double crochets, you should be finishing with a popcorn stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of our starting chain 3. Slip stitch into there. Slip stitches can be very fiddly, can't they? Trying to get in there. There we go. So this is what we should have so far. Looking lovely. So we're going to move on now to round 4. So for round 4, we are going to, oops, get my yarn around my hand. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a front post double crochet in the stitch we joined with, so that's our chain 3, and the next double crochet together. So we did front post double crochets before. This time, just trying to find my other double crochet. So it's this one here. It moved over a little bit near my popcorn. So what you're going to do is yarn over, go to the right side of that chain, and then come out to the left of your next stitch, and then finish your double crochet, and then you'll have worked around those 2 stitches. And then we are going to do a single crochet in the top of this popcorn stitch. So at the top you'll just see there's a little gap there. Can you see that little gap there? So into there we're going to do a single crochet, And then we're going to do a front post single crochet around the popcorn stitch. So you're going to go in to the right of that popcorn, come out the other side of your popcorn, like so. So your hook is behind the popcorn, and then you're just going to yarn over, pull right through, and then finish your single crochet. So I will show you that again. But what we're going to do next is another front post double crochet around these next two double crochets. So go in to the right of your first, come out at the left of your second. So you've got both double crochets there on your hook, yarn over and pull through both, and then you're going to yarn over and complete your double crochet. Now this is a little tricky because it is right next to a single crochet, so you can get a little tight, but just work that through. And my yarn was wanting to split there as well. So next we're going to do a single crochet in the top of this popcorn. So again, you can see that gap there. So that's the top. So do your single crochet in there. And then we're going to do a single crochet, front post single crochet around this popcorn. So go in to the right, out at the left, or the other way around if you're left-handed, and then yarn over, pull through and complete your single crochet. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around. So I'll just show you once more what the if I get some more yarn, show you once more what the repeat pattern is for this round. So we're going to do a front post double crochet around these two double crochets here. So in to the right, out to the left of the second stitch, and then yarn over, pull through and do your double crochet. Okay, single crochet in the top of this popcorn. Single crochet is a double crochet in UK terms. And then we're going to do a front post single crochet around the popcorn. So in to the right, out at the left, do your single crochet. Okay, front post double crochet around the next two doubles, single crochet, and then a front post single crochet around the popcorn. And I will see you at the end. You should have at the end, you should have 12 double crochets and 24 single crochets, so 36 stitches all together. Okay, keep going and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, there's the end of that round. So what you want to do at the end of that round, you should be finishing with your front post single crochet around your last popcorn. Okay, your front post single crochet around that last popcorn. Okay, and then slip stitch into the first front post double crochet you made. So around these first two stitches we did a front post double crochet, so just slip stitch into the top of that. And that's the end of that round. How cute is that looking? So if I bring this other one in, you can see that we've done this first round of popcorn, this inner round. Okay, and there is a second round of popcorn stitches to come. So my pattern's just gone off. My tablet's decided to turn itself. There we go, I've got my pattern back. So we're going to do the next round. Okay, so for this next round, round 5, we are going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So, oops, getting tangled up. So you want to find where this comes out from. Your first one can sometimes be a bit tricky. Go into your second stitch, the stitch next to your slip stitch, and do a slip stitch there. Okay. And then we are going to chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. So in the next stitch is a double crochet. Sorry, I'm trying not to go off the screen here, but it's a bit tricky. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got our chain 3 and our double crochet. The chain 3 will count as a double crochet. Then you can see your popcorn here. We are going to do a front post double crochet around that popcorn. Okay, so yarn over, go in to the right of that popcorn, come out at the left of the popcorn, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Do your double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do a popcorn stitch in the next stitch. So that's 4 double crochets in that next stitch. Three and 4, and find that first stitch. So your popcorn stitches, if I bring this one in, you'll see they are very slightly staggered. Okay, so they're kind of like you've got one either side of your one below, so they're slightly staggered. So we've done our popcorn, and then we're going to do a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So next stitch, double crochet, and next stitch, double crochet. This is your repeat now, so I'm going to do those 2 double crochet stitches, and then you're going to do a front post double crochet around that popcorn. Okay, so around that next popcorn, a front post double crochet, and then a popcorn in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then pop your hook out into that first stitch. There we go. So popcorn, double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then a front post double crochet around that next popcorn. And there we go. So you're going to continue that around. You're going to do a popcorn in the next stitch, popcorn in the next stitch, then 2 double crochets, and then front post double crochet around the next popcorn. And you're going to finish with your 2 you're going to finish with a popcorn in your very last stitch. Okay, and I'll see you at the end. So keep going. Popcorn, 2 double crochet, front post double crochet, and keep going, and I'll see you at the end of this round. Okay, I've come to the end of my round, and you're going to finish with your popcorn stitch. Finish with your popcorn stitch, and now we're going to fasten off this first colour, and we're going to join our second colour in. Now the way that the pattern suggests, I will show you that way. There are other ways to join it if you're not sure about doing it this way. Let me just get my second colour. So get my second colour, get that there ready. So what you're going to do is go into the top of your starting chain 3. So find your first top chain, pop your hook through, and then what you're going to do is drop this first colour down, grab your second colour and make a loop, pop that loop on your hook, and then you're going to pull this through as if it was your first colour and you're doing a slip stitch as normal. So pull that through that stitch and through that loop. Okay, and then you can see you've got this here. So this is quite a big slip stitch now, so just take your first colour, and if you watch this loop on the top, as I pull, that's going to try and hold your work and pull that down, and that's gone really small now. So you'll just need to secure this first colour when you sew your ends in, you'll really need to secure that well, okay, because it's not knotted anywhere. Okay, if you don't want to do that method, you could just fasten off your first colour, and then you could join your new colour in that same chain at the top there. Okay, depends how you want it to work, but that's how I've done it. That's how the pattern suggests. So that's what I'm doing, so I'm following the pattern. So I'm going to cut my first colour off. Just going to snip that so that it's done. There we go. Pop that to the side. And just do these up so I don't injure myself on them. Okay, so we now have, sorry, bring this back into frame. So we've got our second colour to work on now. And what we're going to do, we've got 2 rounds here. So this first round is going to square it off nicely. If you can see up here, and down, we're going to square off this round piece of work, and then the next round will just be making it bigger. So what we are going to do is do a chain 3. You might want to hold this tail just to start with that new colour. So chain 3, which will act as a double crochet, and then you're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch. So that's your chain that you joined your colour. Okay, so we have a chain 3 and a double crochet, so that's like having 2 double crochets. We're going to do a chain 1. Now I'm going to do a slightly larger chain than normal because this is going to be our corner space, and I want to make sure it's clear where the corner space is. And then do 2 more double crochet in that very same stitch, or the very same chain in this case. Okay, so this is actually our first corner. Okay, so as I said to you before, the stitch next to your chain, sometimes the top gets a bit distorted, so make sure you're doing your stitch into that. It might be that it almost becomes next to this first corner. That's absolutely fine. I just find that it's better to make sure you're not missing a stitch. So go into there as your first double crochet, and then you want to go into the next stitch that you've done 2 double crochets. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in 7 stitches along. So this next one is where your popcorn finished. Sorry, I'm going out of shot again. I'm really trying with this. Hopefully by the next video it will be a lot easier. So this is your popcorn space. So we're going to do a half double crochet in there. 1, and then in the next stitch 2, 3, 4, 4, popcorn space, find that gap, 5, 6, and 7. So that's 7 half double crochets, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochets. So again, make sure you're finding your stitches and your popcorn space. So popcorn space is just here. You can see there's a gap there, so that's the top of the popcorn. So there's your 2 double crochets, and now we're going to do the corner. So in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochet in that same stitch, and then a chain 1, and remember I'm doing a bigger one so I can find that corner, and then we do 2 more double crochet in that same stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then 7 half double crochets. So be sure to find the top of the popcorn which you can see just here. So 7 half double crochets. Okay, and then 2 double crochets, 1 in each of the next stitches, 2 double crochet, and then you're back to doing a corner. So in the next stitch you will do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet along, 7 half double crochet, 2 double crochet, and then another corner, and then you'll work down this side doing your 2 double crochet, 7 half double crochet, 2 doubles, and then you'll be back to your corner. So we'll just slip stitch to join that corner. So I will leave you to finish off this round. Just rewind this last side if you need a recap. Okay, I will see you at the end of this round. Okay, so you should finish with your 2 double crochets and then do a slip stitch in the top of that chain 3. Slip stitch into there to finish that round off. And there we go. How cute is that little beauty? Very cute, like that. Okay, so there's one more round to go. Don't panic if you're square, if you're thinking, oh, this is a bit small. Don't panic about that at all. I will help you along on how to make it bigger if you wish to. So we've got one more round, and this round is all half double crochets. Now if you've seen the written pattern, there is just a slight error on this last one. It says ending with double crochet, but it's actually half double crochet, so don't worry about that. We're just going to do, if you've got the written pattern there, it is half double crochet for the whole round. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start with a chain 2 as a half double crochet, 2, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in that next stitch. Make sure you're picking up both strands. As I've said before, it's the one next to your chain, and they're not always the easiest stitch to get into, the one that's next to your chain. So a half double crochet, and then in this corner chain space we are going to do 3 half double crochets. Okay, 3 half double crochets in your corner space rather. Okay, 3 half double crochets in that chain space, and then a half double crochet in the next stitch and in the next, and you will have 15 half double crochets along this side. So you're going to be doing 15 half double crochets until you reach the next corner space. So just work along in each of those stitches to your next corner. I told you this round was simple, didn't I? So more simple for you if you've not got a camera about 6 inches above what you're doing and you can see what you're doing better than I can. So where are we? Okay, just working along to the next corner space. $15 stitches in total. And then we're back at our corner space. So we're going to do 3 half double crochets in that corner. Okay, and then work along your side, 15 half double crochets, and then do your corner in the space, another 15, and a corner, another 15. In fact, it will be 13 on this last row because you've already done the first 2. So 13 there, and then you'll be slip stitching in the top of your chain 2. And that's the end of the actual pattern. So I'm going to work all my half double crochets around, and then I will see you at the end. Okay, here is my square at the end of those 7 rounds. And how cute is that? Love it, love it. I'm just going to fasten her off and snip that off, ready to sew in later. So this, if you are using worsted weight or Aran weight yarn and a 5mm hook approximately, this square should roughly be about 6 inches for you, depending on your tension. For me, because I'm using DK or light worsted and a 4.5mm hook, it's come out at around 4.5 inches, and that's fine. That's what a lot of my squares are coming out as when they stay worsted and 5mm hook. So a lot of mine come out at 4.5 inches, and I don't mind that. They're all going to sort of fit together because of being around that size. But if your square, you want it to be bigger for whatever size you want it to be, or maybe you're just a tiny bit off for size and you're sort of nearly at, like, maybe you're doing it in worsted weight and a 5mm hook and you're almost there but you just need a bit more size, there's a couple of things you can do. You can block it, which means wetting it and pinning it out to the exact size you want and leaving it pulled out, and then as it dries it will stay in that stretched out state. So if you literally only need about 1/2 inch, you could possibly stretch that far. The other thing you could do is add another round of stitches. So if you don't need much, you could just add a round of single crochet. If you need more, then what I suggest is I always try, if I'm extending a square, I always try and keep it in sort of the same kind of pattern as the original. So this finished with half double crochets, so I would possibly, depending on how much more I needed, I would do another round of half double crochets, or I would do a round of double crochets. The other thing you could do is, if you were only needing a small amount of extra size, is if you realised that before you did this round of half double crochets, you could, instead of half doubles, you can make it doubles, and then it wouldn't look too dissimilar to this original pattern. Okay, so that though is today's square. Burst of popcorns. We've got this burst of popcorns in the middle, and the texture, I think you'll agree, is pretty lovely. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I've got this one that I did earlier in the same colours but the opposite way around. So there we go. There are our my two burst of popcorn squares. Gorgeous. So thank you to Aurora of Dragonfly Mom of 2 for her pattern and for allowing us to film this tutorial. And I'm going to leave you there with that, and I'll see you next time. Take care, just keep hooking, and don't let that tea get cold.